Hi, good morning. I want to test out this front camera. I don't want to touch anything actually because I might just mess it up. So I'm not going to touch anything. But good morning. I see that there's one person here. I don't know if that person is me because I can't see myself from my phone. But I'm just gonna wait and see who joins. So it's getting hot here, like really hot. I went out to walk today. I usually go for a walk for 45 minutes or an hour. Good morning, Alice. How are you today? I was just complaining about the heat here because I went to walk and I got such a bad sunburn. I didn't think it was that bad, but you can see, I think, yeah, you can clearly see the difference between where my watch was and my skin because it is so hot now. I need to start walking earlier because the sun is not nice anymore. How are you doing this morning, Alice? Alice, did you say you were going live at 12 or 2? I remember it. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. Did you finish work at 5? I'm seeing 4 people in the live. I'm one of them. I think I'm 2 of them, then Alice. So, uh, the other person who's in the live, please say hi so I can say hi as well. Yes, Alice. So, what time will you be going live? Did you say 12 or 2? I just want to be sure that I put my alarm on because sometimes I don't get notifications. Not sometimes, most times I don't get notifications for lives. I get them for vlogs and I checked my notifications. It says all, but I always get the notification for lives late. So I just want to make sure. It's a sun. And this because it's very bad sun. 3. Okay. Okay. That's my 4 o'clock. All right. Perfect. I will set an alarm. Let me just do that now before I forget. Before I forget. It's summer sun. We are now in summer. So for us it's tiring. It is tiring. So now I have to just be waking up early. I'm seeing someone else in the live. I don't know, but anyway, I will start in about 2 minutes, but the topic is what I wish our parents had an opportunity to teach us when we were younger. And the reason why I'm saying opportunity is because they were parents and they had different, I think, responsibilities at the time, and they might have been focusing on one particular thing, maybe provision, maybe work, discipline. But there are other things, I think, now that I'm older, I believe that if they had the opportunity, they could have taught us and it could have helped us in a lot of ways. And it is now 10 a.m., I think. So, have you slept at all, Alice? Or did you sleep for like 3 or 4 hours? Because I think it's 10 now. about to make myself something to eat. I was woken up by a phone call. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's 11:05 here in Kenya. The travel girl, good morning. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, me and you have the same time. Here it's 11:05. Uh, yeah, I can only imagine waking up, being woken up when you just slept, basically. But to the person who woke you up, thank you because you were able to join the live. Okay, so yes, so the topic is the travel girl. The topic is what I wish our parents had the opportunity to teach us when we were younger. So I believe that when you're a parent, you have a lot of responsibility other uh, other than teaching some of the lessons I'm going to talk about, because these are more of the things that we went through in adulthood. So maybe I'll be here for 30 to 40 minutes. Thank you so much, Alice. I really appreciate that. Um, there are things that if they could have taught us, we would have had maybe a smoother adulthood. But because they were focusing on the things that were important at that time, maybe they didn't have the opportunity to teach us. So, for example, for me, both my parents were working, and my mom was the the main disciplinarian in my family. So um she yeah, she took on the responsibility of making sure that all four, because I grew up with three sisters, all four of us were in line. So she helped us with the homework when she could. I think it was my mom that helped us with the homework most of the time. And when whatever you're wearing, yeah, she'd be looking at what you're wearing. She'll be looking about I recapped on yesterday's live stream and I just never had time to comment. Ah, okay. Yes, 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 exactly. So, they had a lot of, yeah, the responsibilities they had. I don't think they would have focused on what I want to talk about today. And yeah, because of that, I just thought maybe it's something that would be fun to discuss, interesting to discuss now that we are older and we are seeing life from a different lens, in adulthood. So, the first lesson I wish that my parents would have taught me, and something that I have realized now that I have a very close relationship with them, now that I'm older, is that they have the best intentions for me. No one else in this life has better intentions for me than my parents. But me and them didn't have a close enough relationship when we were younger, partly because of culture and also because they were busy trying to provide for us. So they had to work. And on Sundays, we were going to church because they were trying to teach us about God and our spiritual relationship. On Saturdays, we would be cleaning the house. I don't think we ever had time. And also, our culture doesn't allow for our parents to show, let me not say our culture, maybe it's just my family, but parents to show affection and love in that manner or way to say, oh, you know what, Audrey, I love you and I have the best intentions for you. All I want for you is to succeed and to have a good life. The message that was given to us was we have to work hard in school in order to get a good life, right? So they were giving us building blocks to give ourselves a good life, but emotionally, they didn't tell us that, in fact, they have the best intentions for us. Now that I'm older, I know that my friends have the best intentions for me. My sisters have the best intentions for me, but no one has better intentions for me than my parents. And had I known that when I was younger, there are so many things I could have avoided just by coming and telling my parents what has happened. A relationship that would not have progressed to a point that it did, a friendship that would not have progressed to the point where it did, even hardships in school. Like I was living in boarding school when I was in high school. Then when I was in university, my first degree, I was also living in school. There are so many hardships that come with that, but because I didn't have a close enough relationship with my parents, I emotionally I couldn't go to them. So there are a lot of people that I met along the way in terms of friends and acquaintances that I turned to for advice, and they never gave me the best advice. Even family, they never gave me the best advice. But if I had known that I can speak to my parents the way I can speak to them now, I tell you, there are a lot of things I could have avoided in life. A lot. Alice said, our culture did not allow us to be besties with our parents. Exactly. And I can understand that, because how do you then draw the line between best friend and disciplinarian, right? Because if we are kiki ha 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 today, and then tomorrow I go above curfew, it's not kiki ha 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 anymore, so it's going to be confusing for the children, or I think that's what parents think. So because of that, yeah, they think that they can't be both. I don't know how far true it is, because I'm not a parent yet, and I don't know if it's possible to have a good balance between that. But there are a lot of situations I could have avoided if I knew that my parents were my best friends. Alice said, sometimes they did tell us about their intentions, but it was displayed differently. They just forgot to mention that that's what we're doing this for you, your best interest. Exactly. That is so true. So, for example, with my parents, birthdays were a big thing, and prize giving was a big thing. So, when you were good in school, they would they would always reward you for that, and they would always push you to work hard in school. Of course, they were doing that for us to have better lives, but for me, I just thought, okay, they just want an intelligent daughter, or a daughter that does well in school. And because I was younger and I didn't understand that they actually weren't doing that for themselves, they were doing that for me. And now that I'm older, I understand that, okay, they were just trying to help me to build a better life for myself. um yes, but yeah, something about our culture, it's, I don't know. It makes it really difficult to be both, I think, as parents. But that was the first lesson that I think my, if my parents had the opportunity to be both my best friend and my parents, as in the disciplinary side, they would have been able to teach me, and there are a lot of things I could have avoided. The second thing is that not all friends deserve all of you, and that you need to place friends in categories. And I see this with my parents now that I have grown up, not just friends, but even family, right? So they have a very small circle of people that they confide in, and these people know almost everything about them. These are the people that they turn to when they need prayer, when they need help. These are also the people that they invite most of the times when we have a party or we have a gathering. These are very close people to them. Then they have the larger circle where a little bit larger circle where these are very close knit people. So when we have like the family functions, these people are always around. When we are celebrating a birthday or a graduation, these people are always around, but they're not as close as the smaller circle. And then they're friendly with everyone. My parents both have very kind hearts, so there's no one around them from their workplaces or from the family that can say, oh, my dad or my mom has a cold heart. They're very kind people. So that means that they, whether at church or at family functions, at work, you can always count on them to do something for you if you need help. You can always count on them for advice. They will always invite you if they feel like you need some help. So in terms of that, yeah, my parents are kind with everyone. And also, I think that that would have been something that would have helped me if they had taught me this at a younger age. Because in high school, I made some friends that I still have now, and I called those people my close circle. But there are some people that I put in my close circle that didn't deserve to be there, because number one, they gave me really bad advice. They also, how can I put it? I don't know if it's a betrayal or it's not neglect. But okay, I'll tell you the story of these type of friends now. Because there's no way I can explain without just telling you the story. But let me read Alice's comment. I think that's what parents think. You can be both a bestie and still discipline them. Just make sure that your kids can tell you anything and be able to talk to you about everything. Yes, Alice. Ah, yes. This is the point that I'm trying to drive home. This is exactly the point. I wish I knew that no matter how scary my mom is, because was it on your live or on Lungi's live that we were talking about good cop, bad cop? I think it was on Lungi's live, where my mom was always bad cop when we were growing up, and my dad was always good cop. So I felt closer to my dad, but as a lady, I should have felt closer to my mom to share some things with her. But because she is the one that would always discipline us, I was scared of her. So even if something bad happened to me at school, my friend said something, the teacher said something, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't feel like she could understand me. I didn't feel like she had the heart to feel for me if I say, oh, this bad thing happened. Because to me, she was always, in my head, it would always be like, Audrey, don't do that. Or Audrey, don't climb the tree. Audrey, if you do this thing, it's going to hurt you. If you do this thing, I'm going to beat you. So I never saw the other side of her until I grew up. I think, yeah, it was, she said it though. She said she said when I started university, that's when she realized that okay, she doesn't need to discipline me anymore. So that's the shift in our relationship. That's exactly where it shifted. And up to now, I don't think there's anything that I can't share with my mom. Yes. So the story I wanted to tell you was when I was in high school, I had two, I had one friend. Yes, Alice, it was crazy. That time it was really crazy. But yeah, now we have the best relationship. So I was living in school. So I had friends in the boarding school, and then I had friends that came from day school. So my very closest of friends were in boarding school. And you know, when you go to school, you have like snacks, because usually the food that they cook there is either not enough for you, or you eat early. So I think we would eat supper at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., and then we would go to bed at 9 p.m. So between that time, maybe you need a snack or you need juice or something like that. So we would carry these things to school. And the friends that I was close with at that time, we were sharing our food. So we every month end, we would buy our snacks, then we would put them in one box, we would lock it. So when we would eat, we would just eat together. In the middle of the month, my friends just decided not to be my friends anymore. They just, I don't know how they did it, because we were usually together. I was in class A with one of my other friends, and then the third friend was in class B. So I spent more time with the other friend. But at some point, probably because we played different sports. So maybe when I was playing basketball, they had time to talk, and then they decided not to be my friend. This was in the middle of the month. And besides it affecting me in the at the point where I didn't have extra food to eat, so I was kind of going hungry, because I had to wait until month end to go into town and buy more snacks, because we were only allowed to go into town and buy more snacks. And then I didn't have a cell phone, so my parents just knew to send me money at the end of the month, and then I would go to the bank, get the money, and buy my food. Even if I was going to write a letter, it was not going to get there in time for them to send me money. So for the rest of the month, not only didn't I have friends in like the time that we spend in the boarding house or in the hostel, which was between 5 and morning. So between that time, I didn't have friends. But also, I was hungry. It was the worst 15 days of my life. And I would always go to bed early, because I had one friend that I would see in class, because she was a day scholar. Every morning, I'd be so happy to see her. And she was so sweet. She would bring me sandwiches and juice. Like, she understood me, because I was going hungry. So yeah, that me and that friend, we are still friends up to now. We've been friends for years. And yeah, so I didn't know at that particular point that even though these people are my friends, at some point they can just choose to leave me. And I didn't know that I shouldn't trust them enough to give my full contribution to them. And I wish that because of the experience that my family, I mean, my parents had with their friends, and also growing up, you know, friendships, who to trust and who to give what. I wish they had taught me that, because had they, I would never have given that full contribution. Alice, yo, what's about your contribution for the rest of the month? We were not talking. So I couldn't even say, can I have my contribution? And also, we would mix everything. So for example, maybe it's chips, Zapnacks. So I would buy a full pack, then they would buy a full pack or something like that. Same thing with juice. So we would just open it and mix it. So when we're eating, we would just take out one packet. So because it's middle of the month, we wouldn't have known, okay, this is what's left for you, this is what's left for... It was just, and we were children. I think we were 14, 15, or 12, no, yeah, 14 or 15, I think, between those 2 years. And yeah, so for 15 days, I was going hungry, and I was friendless when I was in boarding school. I had friends when I went for basketball, and those girls are also still my friends now. But other than that, my friends did me dirty. And then later on in life, now, I got to meet one of the other girls here in Cyprus. Funny enough, that's how God works, you know. That happened in Zimbabwe, and then we ended up meeting in Cyprus. We just spoke about it. Oh, we were children. Yes, this happened, this happened. We forgave each other, but I never befriended her again. We were just acquaintances. Oh, if I see you, hi, hi. But we never became friends again. And I just feel like it's something that I would have avoided if I had enough information about that. Alice said it could it could never be me. I would demand my share, whether we're on speaking terms or not. I believe you. I actually believe you, Alice. Good morning, Linda. Good morning. How are you today? No, we're not friends again. No, 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 no. I think that I have learned, especially through that situation, that I can forgive everyone. So it's very easy for me with time to forgive people, but I can never be friends with you again. You have shown me who you are, you've shown me your character. So there's no way I can trust you again to be my friend. And with me, I have a very small circle of friends. And before I can call you a friend, you have to not prove to me that you're going to be a good friend, but I have to see that I can actually trust you, because with the people who are my friends, I give my all. There's nothing that a friend can ask me of, and if I'm able to do it, I don't do it. So because of that, I'm very, very particular about the people I bring close to me in my circle. So no, Alice, we're not friends anymore. But there's no bad blood. I forgave both of them a long time ago. Good morning, Lungi. How are you today? So, Linda and Lungi, we are talking about some things that I wish that our parents had the opportunity to teach us when we were younger, that would have helped us now in our adulthood. So I gave 2 points, which the first one was I wish they had taught me in not so many words or in many words that they are the people who have the best intentions for me. Like my sisters, my cousins, my friends, they might have good intentions for me, but the people who have the best intentions for me are my parents. And I wish that we had a close enough relationship then where I was not afraid to come and tell them the situations that were happening in my life. Because if we had that relationship then, there are a lot of things I could have avoided. And I was giving examples about friendships as well. And that led into the second point of I wish they had taught me that not all friends deserve all of you. So you have your small circle, you have your bigger circle, and then you have your big circle. And when I was 14 or 15, I had an experience where my closest friends decided they didn't want to be my friends anymore. But it didn't just affect me emotionally, it affected me physically because I was in boarding school and we would share our food. So for like half a month, I didn't have food and we were not on speaking terms. So yeah, that's just what we were talking about. So Alice said, exactly, people can never change their ways, young or not. I completely agree, Alice. I I can love everyone from a distance. I can forgive everyone from a distance. But that thing of, okay, maybe you're going to change, or maybe that was like a fault of your character, and I bring you back into my circle. I can't do that. It's something I cannot do. But I never have bad blood with anyone. Lumi said, I wish they had taught me about money, but I get it, they too were learning. I forgot to write this down, but that is a very good point. We have no, I don't know if anyone here does, but growing up, we have no financial education, none at all. I had no idea what it means to save, to invest, to think of starting businesses when I'm younger, to think of how to even a budget. I didn't know how to make a budget even with my money because, excuse me, I started working at a very young age. So just after high school, I worked for about a year between my high school and starting university. And I was making a substantial amount of money for that age. I think I was making about $350 to $400. I don't remember. But I was making a substantial amount of money for someone who's just coming out of high school. If I knew how to spend that money then, I would have saved a lot. Maybe even started a business at that point, because later on in life, when I moved here, I started a business and businesses. But if I had started then and I was in university, I had a lot of people to sell to. I had the opportunity to order things. I would have been at a better position now. But you're right, they too were learning. They are still learning now, because the state of the economy in Zimbabwe is always changing. We have times when, for example, we're using the US dollar, then we have times when we're using the Zim dollar, we have times when we have sanctions, we can import things, we can't import things. So it's a learning curve for them. But yeah, that's something I really wish they would have taught us. Good morning, Mama the Boys. Good morning, Poloko. Good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for joining the live. Lungi said investment, savings, buying assets. Exactly, exactly. I think in Zimbabwe we had a fund called, I think it was Old Mutual, where you could buy shares, and then it was like an investment fund. But like I said, because of the state of the economy in Zimbabwe, that fund dissolved. We started using a different currency and all of that. But these are things that maybe if they had taught me as I was growing up, I could have branched into other things. But they were also trying to learn, but it would have gone a long way, I think, because I see children now way younger than me that have started buying shares in Apple, for example, or one of these big companies, buying stock. And they don't even buy with a lot of money, but it accumulates over time. So it all depends on what time you start. And that would have helped and gone a long way. Okay. Linda said, I've always been guarded from a very young age. I've never let my guard down. I've never had more than 3 friends, for example. I never allowed people in my space. I wish they had told me it's okay to let go sometimes, to live a bit. Wow. That is, I think, exactly the opposite of the experience that I had. And I think that's very insightful, because I trusted people who then hurt me, but you were guarded and then trusted a very small circle of people. But you feel like you could have experienced more, especially when you're younger. I think that's the time to make mistakes. So yeah, that's very interesting. um I don't think my parents ever talked to me about friends at all. um I think that they would point out, though. Our parents have this great instinct of pointing out good friends and bad friends. So they would point out when they see a friend that is, I don't know how to explain it, maybe their beliefs and their upbringing is different from what they would want you to be brought up as. My mom would point it out and say, I don't want you to play with that friend. And now when I look back on the behavior of those friends and actually how we related, I understand why she wouldn't have wanted me to be around those people, because going back to exposure, what we have spoken about before, those friends of mine were a lot more exposed to the world and worldly things before me and my sisters, because we were living a very sheltered life. And so, yeah, my mom was just trying to avoid me knowing about things she wasn't ready for me to know about yet. But that's interesting. That's interesting, Linda. Luni said they didn't have enough, so there was no point of reference for them. I agree, 100%. And also, I grew up in a big family, and my parents gave us the opportunity to get a good education. So when it comes to education, they had enough for education. All those extras you would have, but that wouldn't leave them with extra to also invest in other things. But they did try a number of businesses over the years and all of that. So I think now, especially because we are all grown, they have more time and more money to look into investing and increasing their investments. But at that point, they were still also just trying to balance out things. Alice said, I'm still here eating and listening to the other ladies' views as well. Okay, Alice, thank you. Luni said, I wish they had told us that family members do not have your best interest at heart. Yes. I feel a lot of people got victimized by their close family. 100%, Lumi. This was going to be another point from me as well, and it was in the same respect of the people you keep close, the people you have maybe a closer circle with, and then the people you eat with. So I was listening to a sermon, I think 3 days ago, and the person was talking about how Jesus went about his friendships and his circle. So Jesus ate with everyone, every single person. He ate with everyone. And then when it came to fellowship, he had his 12 disciples. But even within the 12, he had his close three. These are the people that he would go to pray with. These are the people that he would confide in. These were closest to him. But in the closer circle, he also had the people he fellowshiped with. So I think that when we are growing up, and this is also a respect thing and a culture thing, when we are growing up, we think that family, um, uh, one of my friends, the ones that I was talking about, was actually family. Not very close, but we were close. Actually, we were close. We were close. And I believed, because of my age, immaturity, and I was naive, I believed that this person is my blood. This person is my family. They're going to have the best intentions for me. And that's why I trusted them so much. But with the way I grew up, I think that besides that situation, I never got into places where family could hurt me more than what that person did, because my parents shielded us a lot from being around a lot of family members unsupervised. We never went for sleepovers and the like. But even at that, we always thought that, oh, this person is family, this person is family. And then when you grow up, you realize that, oh, family is family, but not everyone has the best intentions for you. I agree. I wish my parents would have told me to be in touch with my feelings. Crying, to be allowed to cry and not being told you're a spoiled brat. Encourage feelings and teach how to navigate them. We just grew up with resentments. Wow. Lungi, I resonate with that so well, because I I remember as I was growing up, I'm a very emotional person. So not just crying because you're hurt, but even crying tears of joy is a foreign concept, I think, in our culture. I don't know if it's a cultural thing, or I don't know exactly. But showing emotion, even anger as a child, even when you're upset, that you're frustrated, you're doing your homework, you don't understand how to do it, and then you're frustrated, you want to cry. Or yes, like I'm saying, when I'm very happy, I cry. I'm very emotional. And when you're hurt as well, the, in Zimbabwe we call it nyarara. Nyarara, it means keep quiet. So you're not even allowed to cry for a long time. And yeah, that really makes us suppress our feelings. And you're right, it builds a lot of resentment. And wow, that's amazing, Lungi. I never thought of it that way, but you pointing it out just made me remember that people used to ask me why I'm crying when I was happy, even when I was happy. So yeah, I think it contributed to me not being able to express myself. Even now, I'm working very hard at expressing myself, especially at the workplace. I don't, even when something is done in a wrong way or in a wrong manner, I don't complain. I don't confront, I don't even show emotion. And that, a lot of people have taken advantage of that side of me, but I think it's because I was taught to repress my emotions. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lumi. Linda said, only Peter, James, and John saw Jesus transfigured. I love this point, Ray. Yes, so if we take pointers from Jesus, God Himself, it's not everyone that is supposed to have access to you, and it's not everyone who has the heart to see everything about you. And so we shouldn't share everything with everyone. Alice said, true. Like I was saying yesterday, that is sometimes family that will help you, hurt you the most. Yes, Alice. That is, I would bring examples, but I think this live has enough story times for the day. But yeah, it's not everyone. And also, I think we need to understand that even though we're family, we have different upbringings. So some of our cousins are cousins through our dad's side. They have their own mothers. And then from our mom's side, maybe they have their own fathers. These are different cultures that are coming together. Then the way my parents treat me might be different from how they treat, how my cousins' parents treat them. Maybe that makes them jealous of how I'm treated. Maybe my mom prioritizes traveling because she wants to expose her children to Zimbabwe. We always used to travel around Zimbabwe. Maybe she prioritizes that because we are girls, and I think I will have a different topic on this. But when we were growing up, we, like I said, we went to good schools. And in terms of education and what we needed, we had everything we needed. But one thing that my parents prioritized, even though we didn't have a lot of extra money, was traveling, eating at restaurants, and what else? What, having good clothes. Because I think, and I asked my mom, she said that she wanted to make sure that no man was going to come into our lives and use money to lure us. You know, this whole thing of dating older men, sugar daddies, and all of the like. I was never enticed by anything, even though those men, of course, would have a lot more to give you than parents that are raising 4 children, because maybe they're politicians, or I don't know, they have more disposable income. But I was never enticed by that, because the things that you would want to introduce me to, even if we went to a restaurant just for my birthday or my sister's birthday, it's not a lot of times in the year that we would go to a restaurant. We would cook a lot at home, but a restaurant wasn't something new to me. But maybe with like the other family members, this is something that they look at as a luxury. But my mom knew why she was doing that. Because she's raising girls, she just didn't want men to be able to lure us into that. Didn't mean that we were rich, but it meant that it was a priority. So when my cousins would see that, they might get jealous. So any opportunity that they have to say, oh, but then they did this. Oh, but did you see that this person failed? Or did you see that this person did this? Or when you're in a situation, they try so hard to bring you down within that situation. So yeah, family dynamics are very hard to navigate. And because of that reason, I think it's very important for people to teach us that even though a person is blood, it doesn't mean that they have the best of intentions for you. Because at the end of the day, people are human beings, family or not, they're human beings. They have the potential to want to bring you down. Lungi said, we couldn't be moody. Think about it, is so unfair. We could say we're tired, and then we must be functional adults. We couldn't be moody. Think about it, so unfair. Couldn't say what. We couldn't say we're. That is something that was very prevalent in my family. Imagine 4 girls. So that means that, the house has to be sparkling clean. If anything needs to happen, it has to happen. Moody, what's that? What is that actually? I'm never moody. That's the funny thing. Everyone who has been around me has been moody. I could never be that, because either your sister is gonna come and want something from you, or mom is gonna come. You have no opportunity to be moody, and definitely no opportunity to be tired. Definitely not. So yeah, it's unfair. It's really unfair, because now you don't have an opportunity to be a child who expresses themselves, and then now you have the responsibility of being an adult. Who are you going to express yourself to? You're just going to go into your room, cry, and then you're gonna have to come out and continue with life. So yeah, I wish I had the opportunity to to be moody when I was still at home. Alice, it's people who are close to Baya Loyana, does that mean they use witchcraft against each other? I think that is because in Shona we say Lano Royana, and I'm pretty sure that's the same thing. And if that's what you're saying, yes, we never get witchcraft from people that are far from us. It's always within the village. Yeah, people just don't have good intentions for each other. Lungi said, exactly, we don't know how to express ourselves, hence they exploit us at our workplace. Yes, 100%. I'm very much, yeah, I don't confront anything that's happening. I'll just be like, oh, okay, okay. Even if I don't like something, I can't express myself. Alice said, big up to your mom, Dre. Thank you very much. I will pass on the message. Linda said, your mom. Thank you very much. I will pass on the message. My mom likes these kind of things, and then she's shocked. She's like, who said that? Wow. So you have people that watch you? Wow. So she'll be happy to hear that. Exactly. Whose house are you being moody at? Not my mother's house. It used to annoy me not being able to rest. Hence, I give my kids a break. That's powerful, Lungi. Some of the things that you went through that you wouldn't want your children to go through. That's really powerful. That's how we learn, I think. Thank you very much, Lungi. Um, Linda said it's not fair. It's not. It's not because we're just children. Um, Still annoyed thinking about it. Let it go, Lugi. Let it go. Hi, Dr. Amy. Good morning. How are you doing? How are you doing? I tried to start the live later today because I had um I'm starting work in 9 minutes, so I'm definitely gonna stop it now. But I just set up everything, so as soon as I get off the live, I'm gonna start work. Dimple, good morning. How are you doing? I'm here watching in the background. I'm busy in the workshop. Thank you very much. I saw your vlog. I think I watched it yesterday where you were in the workshop. That's a lot of work. Well done. Keep going. Lungi said, I wanted to rest you guys. I'm so triggered. Louis, let me tell you, I told you that my parents was trying like new businesses all the time, right? So there's a time that we went into the chicken business. We would buy 50 chicks. I think it was 50 chicks. Yeah, 50. Within the first week, maybe two or three would die. You know, the runts of the I don't know what you call a group of chicks, but then we would have 47. So those are the strong ones, and then they would grow, and then we would shift them from one cage to another. Who was cleaning the chicken? You know, I was cleaning it because I'm the youngest. Then came the day to kill the chickens and to pluck the feathers. That day, you start early in the morning because it's 47. So it would be how many of us? Six of us. My dad was the one that would, kill the chickens and everything. Can you say kill here? I hope so. But my dad would be the one to unalive the chickens. And then six of us. So my mom, my four sisters, and the helper. We would sit in the kitchen and start plucking those feathers. So my mom would do the first plucking because she didn't want to rip the skin. So she would be the one to do the first plucking. So she would take off the larger feathers. Then it was up to my sisters and I to now take off the tiny, tiny, tiny feathers. You know, those small ones that will be there on the wings and the belly and everything. The whole day. Now you start to complain. I'm tired of sitting. My legs are numb. My my back hurts. My this. They would all ignore it. Nobody would listen to what you're saying. My neck, because you're like this for like hours, right? My neck. I'm tired. I'm tired. Nobody. No, and I like I need to know so that I can get my hours from this. I don't want to say the wrong thing. 4 hours, I would be like that. The moment if you complain for more than 10 times, my mom, she will slap you. My mom was so quick to slap, and my mom is left-handed. So if you've ever had a slap from a left-handed person, you know that it hurts. So if you complain too much, she'll come and slap you. Is everyone else not working? And then it would continue. This time you'll be trying not to cry because if you cry, she'll come and slap you. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we were never ever allowed to be tired. I feel for you, Lugi, because I went through the same thing. And he said my grandfather had a huge garden, then he decided to plant cabbages. When I tell you How do you harvest cabbages? I don't know how you harvest cabbages, but from the way you are explaining it, I'm pretty sure it's a lot. Oh my gosh. I loved her just watching your video with her. Yes, she's a character. I think I get most of my personality from her. And yes, she's now that we're older, we have such a great relationship. I'm sure you can see it through that video, but when we were growing up, my mom, my mom. But yeah, she raised really good children. So I think the bad cop worked. We were supplying markets. Lungi, how big was this farm that you were supplying markets? He. Dad were trading you all to first hard life. It's true though. I'm very resilient now. Very resilient. There's absolutely nothing I can't. I will be tired at the end of the day. My feet will be swollen at the end of the day. But if they say this is work, they put it in front of me and they say you should finish it, I'll finish it. There's nothing that I can't do now because I went through it. And let's not forget about the holidays where we would go to the village. We would be planting maize in the hot scorching sun. So the cow and the cultivator would move. Then we start planting the seeds. Then when it's time to do the weeding, it's still us that will go with our little, what are they called? I forgot what they're called, but we would be the one who doing the weeding, right? Then when it's harvest season, we will still go back, take the corn off of the stalk, then the corn off of the cob, then to remove the corn off of the cob, yes. And then we have to I know all these words in Shona, but I don't know how to explain them. Like you're removing the bad seeds from the good seeds. Yeah, that's the only way I can put it. And then, yeah, after that, you're done with the season. But we went through a lot. So there's no amount of work that anyone can put in front of me and I'll say, oh, this is hard work because I have been through hard work. Ah. Translate the lessons to YouTube. Dr. Amy, you have a point. You have a point because we can take anything at this point. If we went through that, we definitely can take anything. True, Dr. Amy. I can't even say I'm glad for that opportunity. I learned nothing. You learned perseverance. You did learn perseverance. I wanted to risk, guys. Would be labeled lazy, and I'm in pains thinking about it. Yes, yes. You that is the word that would come from us as well. Ah, you're lazy, you're spoiled, you're this. Mm-mm. So you have to work to show people that you are not lazy. You can't rest in peace. You'll be called name. Exactly. Exactly. Lady said, I need a voice note to vent. Nothing, Dr. Amy, just fatigue, frustration. I'm telling you. No, we learned resilience and perseverance, guys. That's what we learned. So the hour is counting down, and I have to go to work. I have to start work in 2 minutes. So I'm just gonna say my goodbyes now, and just hope that we get to an hour before I can end the live. Thank you so much for joining. I don't even know if I finished all my points, but I only had like 3. Ha! The other point, I think I'll do it in a different live because the whole point was just I'll give you a hint of it. Yes, it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Lugi. Thank you everyone for contributing to this conversation. I just thought it would be a fun one to go through. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We still turned out great. So I believe our parents did a good job. These are just things that, because we're now adults, I just feel like, hey, if I had known, maybe I would have avoided a lot of things. Goodbye, Alice. See you later. We love them. We definitely love them. They did an amazing, amazing job. Goodbye, Dr. Amy. Thank you guys so much for joining. See you.